Hello friends, in this session we'll talk about the amendment procedure of Indian Constitution. What is amendment? Amendment means correction, rectification, or you can say change, delete, addition of any article in our constitution. You can say amendment is one of the important feature of Indian Constitution. Every written constitution around the world, you will find amendment procedure, right? And we are having one important thing that Indian constitution is both rigid and flexible. Rigid means some parts are very difficult to amend, to correct. Flexible means some parts are easily, or you can say by simple majority, we can amend or correct. Let's start. What is amendment? We got the idea. First of all, we should know the source of this amendment provision, because we have borrowed so many things from different constitutions around the world. So first thing is that we should know the source of Indian Constitution amendment procedure. Source. We have borrowed from South Africa. So please remember, South Africa, we have borrowed the concept of amendment procedure from South Africa. This is the first point. And next is, in which part amendment procedure is mentioned. In part 20 of Indian Constitution, part 20 of Indian Constitution, there is a provision under Article 368 regarding amendment procedure. I hope you got this point. The first thing is that we have borrowed from South Africa the idea of amendment mentioned in part 20, and it's under Article 368. This is the point, basic points we should remember. Well, now thing is that how or what are the procedures of amending Indian Constitution? You see, inside the Parliament, we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Anybody, or you can say any house, can initiate the process of amendment. That means you can say amendment can be initiated either in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Right? The amendment procedure bill can be introduced by a minister or a private member. Right? Amendment bill can be introduced by a minister or any private member. Private member means who is not part of government. I hope this is clear. Right? And there is no need to take permission from President of India to initiate amendment procedure. Right? Let's write those points. First thing is that who can initiate? A minister can initiate, a minister or private member. Minister or private member can introduce the bill. Right? Second thing is that no permission from president. No permission required from president. This is the point you have to remember, right? President. Right? Another thing is that each house of parliament must pass the bill. Each house, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha must pass separately. Are you getting my point? So Lok Sabha will pass it separately and Rajya Sabha will pass it separately. After that, one important information regarding amendment procedure is that, please remember, in amendment procedure, in case of dispute, normally whenever there is dispute or you can say disagreement between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there is joint sitting under Article 108. But there is no joint sitting for amendment of Indian Constitution. no joint sitting. Another point, please remember, no joint sitting. Why joint sitting is required? Because to remove deadlocks, or you can say dispute or disagreement among the members, we require joint sitting. However, we cannot assume any kind of joint sitting which is called by president and presides over by speaker of Lok Sabha in joint sitting. There is no mention of joint sitting that's under Article 108 with respect to amendment. I hope this is the basic things regarding the procedure of Indian Constitution amendment, and I hope you got all those things, right? Now we'll talk another important concept, types or categories of amendment. Here you can see, I will explain step by step. You just see there are three categories of amendment. We have simple majority, three types of, you can say, types of amendment. I will explain types. Under Article 368 of Indian Constitution, under Article 368 of Indian Constitution, there are only two provisions. Do not worry, I have one category, second category, and this is third category. I will explain, don't worry. Actually, under Article 368, we have two categories. That you can say special majority and special majority plus ratification of state or consent of states under Article 368, right? This one. However, in other articles, you'll find that we have three types of amendment. I hope this is clear. Under Article 368, we have only two amendment procedure. But if you take into all other articles, you'll find there are three categories or types of amendment. Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. So you can write like this also, no issue. There are three types of procedures or methods of amending, correcting, you can say rectifying, deleting the Constitution of India. Let's discuss each of them. First thing is that I will start from this. Then I will go to this, and the last one, simple majority. Because you can understand very well if you go from special majority and consent of states, then special majority, then simple majority. Why? After learning this, you will know. Okay? Let's start. Let it be first procedure, right? Actually, this is the first procedure, but I am explaining from this side because you can get better idea. You see, special majority plus consent of states. What is this? You see, in Indian Constitution, I have already told certain provisions are very, very flexible, simple. That can be amended by ordinary legislation, right? But some provisions are there which is very difficult to amend, right? So whenever simple majority required, this one is here, but we are talking this value point. So special majority, what is special majority? Actually, special majority means 50% plus. Special majority means, suppose in Lok Sabha, right, we have members sitting, and if it is 50% plus, more than 50%, we call special majority, right? Sometimes we also call this two-third majority. Two-third majority means definitely more than 50%. So special majority means 50% plus, more than 50%. So these are the provisions, please remember, these are the provisions in which you require or parliament requires special majority, means 50% of present and voting or two-third majority plus consent of states, and that's also more than 50% states should pass all these proposals, all these things in a simple majority. For your kind information, I will tell one important concept, that the parliament has only power to amend the constitution, but no state assembly, no state legislature has power to amend the Indian constitution. This is the point you have to remember. Okay? At last also I'll repeat all those things. Let's understand special majority plus consent of states. Consent of states here refers to 50% states must pass all those provisions in a simple majority. I hope this is clear. So whenever we talk about election of president, manner of election of president under article, you can say 53, right? So under article 53 you will find all these things, because President of India article starts from 52. So 53 article talks about election of president and manner of election of president. Right? There is election college consisting or comprising of both the houses of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, however elected members, and all elected members of member of legislative assemblies throughout India, right? So anyway, if you want to rectify, revise, correct this provision, you require special majority plus consent of states. Next one, whenever there is extension of executive power between union and states, you require special majority plus consent of states. And in case of Supreme Court and High Court, right? In case of Supreme Court, High Court, you can say their structure, their changes, whatever those internal things, we require special majority plus consent of states. And if you talk about legislative powers, law-making power, and you want to distribute, Parliament wants to distribute, then it requires special majority plus consent of states. Even also 7th schedule. We know 7th schedule talks about the list. So whatever the list is mentioned in this 7th schedule, if you want to change, Parliament wants to change, then special majority plus consent of states. Always remember, 50% of states means, suppose we have 29 states, 50% means 15 plus states must approve this in a simple majority in its respective assemblies or state legislatures. Next one, representation of states. Whenever we talk about Rajya Sabha, representation of states in Rajya Sabha, we know this, and we want to change, increase, decrease the number of seats in Rajya Sabha, then also this method is applied. And finally, the amendment procedure, which is under Article 368, if you want to change this Article 368, then also you require special majority plus consent of states. In other words, you can say Article 368 also comes under this special majority plus 50% of states approval. This is the point you have to do. Now we'll go for special majority, right? Special in case of special majority, you have to remember fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy or directive principles of state policy that can be amended by special majority. That is more than 50% of members in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. In both the houses, we know amendment procedure, amendment bill must be passed separately because there is no joint sitting. We have already discussed, right? So DPSP and fundamental rights coming under special majority. And please remember one important concept here. Those provisions which are not found here and not covered here, suppose some provisions are not covered here and here, it is also coming in this part. That means those provisions not covered in this part, means the third part and also first part, that is coming under special majority. I hope this is clear. Please try to understand. If you remember these two things, right, then whatever left, that comes under special simple majority. Are you getting my point? Try to mark up, try to understand the special majority features, or you can say provisions, and then special majority. What I mean to say, special majority plus consent of states, you have to remember this first of all. Then remember these 2 points, right? And after that, whatever left, that comes under simple majority. I hope this is clear. And in case of simple majority, administration or establishment of new states are coming, legislative council deletion or abolition of state legislative council. You see, in each state, you'll find assemblies there, but not in each state, you'll find legislative council, right? So whenever there is a proposal to abolish or to establish whatever those things, legislative council, we require simple majority only. And if you talk about quorum of Indian Parliament, right? Quorum means 1/10 of present member. So for 545 members or 500 members, 1/10, 50, 545, 1/10, 55, like this. So quorum provision can be amended by simple majority. And in case of citizenship also, we need simple majority. In case of salaries, or you can say privileges of members of parliament, maybe Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, we require only simple majority. You see, very happy thing. Suppose you are a member of parliament, maybe Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, all members of parliament are sitting in session, and there is a proposal, there is a bill to increase the salary of members of parliament. Simple, raise your hand, simple majority, and salary increased. Are you getting my point? Anyway, for your understanding, I explained like this, so don't be emotional. And this one is second schedule, fifth schedule, sixth schedule. All these schedules can be amended by simple majority. I hope this is clear. And after that, rules of procedure of parliament. Rules of procedures of parliament can be amended by simple majority. Right? Rules of procedure of parliament. There are certain rules and procedures in parliament that can be amended by simple majority. Even also parliament privileges that can be amended by simple majority. And finally, use of English language. Other things are also there, right? I have told if you memorize this one, then automatically this is coming. Some things you have to mug up. Otherwise, how you will understand all those things? Anyway. So in use of English language comes under this simple majority. I hope this is clear. Lastly, I will tell, please remember, because many times, good number of times, questions are asked, right? Is President's permission is required for the amendment bill? No. Under which article amendment of Indian Constitution comes? 368. How many types of amendment procedure or methods are there? 3 types. But originally Article 368 talks about 2 procedures. But if you take all other articles, you will find 3 types of amendment. One is simple majority, special majority, and special majority plus consent of states. I hope this is clear. And sometimes also adds the source of amendment procedures, south of you, right? This is the thing you have to remember for exam point of view. And we have a beautiful written constitution in the world. It is the longest written constitution. It is the mixture of, or you can say blend of, both flexible and rigid provisions, right? And constitutional framers, they have dynamically designed this Constitution of India for all of us. Wish you happy learning. Thank you very much.